What's up guys, it's Matt Collins-Jones here, MCJ, and we're back with another video on Power Automate. This time we are looking at the isInt function, which is a new function inside of Power Automate. isInt allows you to get a true or false, so yes or no value based on whether the string that you're putting in is an integer or not. So an integer is a whole number. It's used in mathematics, it's used in various computer programming terms, and it's used to represent a whole number, something that's not a decimal, something that's not some text. So let's take a look at how this function works. So we're in Power Automate, we've got a manual trigger here, and we have a compose step just underneath. Type in the compose step, or click into the compose step, and I can see my dynamics values window pop up, and I can also click over to my expressions. In here, I can search for my expression down here. It is a string function expression, I believe, but I will just type it in isInt, and see the IntelliSense pops up. I will open the brackets or parentheses, and it says provide me a string value. So that's the only thing to be aware of with this. We're not going to pass it in a number value, we're going to pass it in a string value. So for a string value, we need to put in single quotation marks, and we can put the number 423 in there. And it's going to tell me whether this is if this string, so again it's being perceived as a string because of the single quotation marks, is an integer or not. So we'll hit save and we'll test this out. Save, test, save and test. And it's going to run through, and we can see it says true. So 423 is an int. That's great. So what happens if we choose 423.25, for instance? Now that is an integer, so we should see that say false. We'll choose the latest trigger, save and test. And then that's going to run through, run successfully, that's great. And we can see it says false. So because it's a decimal, it's got a decimal after it, is not an integer because it's not a whole number. But again, with this being a string that we pass in, we could also say, is this Fred? We'll hit save, and we'll test it, and we'll hit save and test. And we see a flow run successfully, got green ticks. We see that also says false. So not only is Fred false, but the decimal's false. So isInt is a really good way to validate your data. So if you can't do any sort of client-side validation, if you can't do any sort of validation on a form, but you still need to maybe create records based on someone's response or someone's input to a form, this is where this could be really useful. If you try to input things like integers into number fields, and the validation is wrong, then you're going to get some errors. So if you use like isInt, for instance, and it says true, then yes, you can write that into your number field. If it says is integer and it's false, then maybe you don't want to put anything in that number field. So again, really good for validating inside of Power Automate when you can't validate on that client side or that sort of user side of your data inputs. What do you guys think? Have you used isInt before? What have you used it for? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, if you'd like it and share it with a friend, if you found it useful, that'd be great to do that. If you're not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.